Hello everyone, welcome to Urbanscape Gardening, and in this episode we will be talking about the Homalomena. So the Homalomena is an aroid and it is native to Southeast Asia, and it's actually called Homalomena because the Homo means flat in Malayan and the Mena means moon. So for some reason this apparently looks like a moon, but I don't see any resemblance, but that's the history behind the name. So these have very heart-shaped leaves. They're not very arrowhead type, they're more heart than arrowhead, and they have these prominent veins. So the leaves are very glossy, especially during the summer months. They're excellently glossy, and they act as a great undercover under trees and shrubs and things like that. So if you have a landscape project and you're wondering what kind of plant I have to use as an undercover, then please use this. Okay, so that's one thing. And another thing is that these are characterized by these burgundy petioles, and it also blooms. I've seen this blooming, but the bloom is obviously like any other aroid. It's not very showy, just that it has a sheath, and then that is also burgundy in color for me in this case. Apparently I don't really have a picture of it, but it is beautiful nonetheless. It's another burgundy structure that comes up just like a peace lily head, but it doesn't unfurl per se, but you get the point. I mean, how monstera blooms, or another aglonema blooms, so something similar to that. So that's how it is, and you can see these edges are also characterized by this burgundy color. So that's a great point. So these are some of the aerial roots. So this is typically not a climber, they don't climb, but if you want to train it, you can, but it's not its ideal nature. So that's one thing. And the root system is a rhizome. So a rhizome is an underground stem, modified stem, and you can obviously grow this or propagate this by division of rhizomes. So you'll see a lot of these clumps forming. So you have one clump here, another clump here, many clumps there, and then this is the main mother plant, I presume, and then they have formed many clumps. So you can just remove this and you can cut the rhizomes, and then you can divide this. So that's how easy the propagation is. So some people say that this smells like star anise, but I generally don't get that smell. So a smell is very subjective again. Some people smell something, some people smell something else. So that is subjective. I'm not going there, but for me it doesn't smell like anise at all. But it's a great plant to have nonetheless. So so you see this. This is actually the bloom which is dried. So this is how it will look like. It will not really unfurl so much. Just a small tiny clump like this, and then that's it. So you can see the bloom here, and you can see the seed pod. So I'm not really sure if this will seed or not, but I will just put it there. If it grows, it grows. I'm not going to bother too much. Anyway, I'm getting a lot of clumps. So another way of making this bloom is to grow this outdoors. So the more you grow this outdoor, the more it will bloom. So the more sunlight it gets, the more it will bloom. Simple. And then so this is how the bloom will look like. This will be that sheath, and this will be the flower part. So I'm just going to put that inside. That's it. So for its care, it does like very bright sunlight if you're growing this indoors. If you're growing this outdoors, please put this under a shade. Otherwise the leaves will burn because of too much of sunlight. So if this does not do well indoors, then you have to realize that the sunlight is not enough for it, and then you probably have to get this out because this is quite sensitive. So I tried growing this in my apartment, and I couldn't really find success there, so that's why I got it here, and it's growing great here. So the problem there was obviously the sunlight was not adequate enough for it, so it kind of died out. Especially during the winter months is when this will really struggle. So this does not go really dormant during the winter months, but it does slow down. So you need to reduce watering. You need to also give it a little more of a sunlight exposure. Maybe bring it to the balcony if you're growing it indoors. So all these things have to be taken care of during winter. Do not feed this during winter. Just water it once the soil is dry, and that's enough. So also you would notice that a lot of condensation dewdrops form on the leaves. So don't get too bothered. It's just a natural instinct of this. Um, just ensure that you water this adequately. So just to give you an overview of its care, use a well draining potting mix. So add a little bit of compost as well. The humus element should be adequate enough in it. So approximately 30% sand you can use, 30% compost, and 40% you could use garden soil or coco peat or anything of that sort. So that would do. Then if grown indoors, pest infestation would be that, it would get spider mites, especially because this loves a lot of humidity. So when you have humidity loving plants, spider mites are a big issue. So spider mites almost look like those red spiders over here. It's very minute. You may not see it. Like you would see spots on the leaves and things like that. So if you inspect underneath, you would see those spider mites moving. So for that, to tackle that, you need good air circulation. So bring it to a balcony area and give it a lot of good air circulation. Then use neem oil pesticide to get rid of them in the first place. Drench the entire plant, the pot, the soil, everything with neem oil pesticide, and then give it good air circulation. Okay, so once that problem is sorted, you bring this indoors. Okay, till then you keep it outdoors and bring this indoors only when all of it is gone. So that's another tip. The other thing would be propagation. We've already mentioned. You can just divide this and you can remove it in clumps. I can show you as well now. So here's a small clump that you see. I can just pull it and it will come out easily. So this will become a new plant. So that's how easy it is to propagate this plant. So I've grown this in this container and I will be watering it, and I will keep it in a sheltered east location, and this would grow in no time. So you would see new leaves and things like that. So it's better you grow this during the summer months or during the rainy months. Avoid doing this during the winter months. Okay. So if your area is already humid and you stay in a tropical zone, you don't have to buy a humidifier and things like that. That will only aggravate the spider mite issue. So don't keep it in a bathroom area. If you again live in a tropical area, again that would increase the humidity. So all those things you have to take care of. If you live in a very dry zone, then a humidifier will definitely help this plant. If you can keep this in a bathroom setting, you can keep it, but again you have to be careful that the bathroom should be exposed to very good sunlight. A southwest exposure is the ideal exposure. Fertilizing, you don't really have to fertilize this. If you want, you can add a drizzle of compost during the summer months, and do not do anything during the winter months. See, it's already going pale. It's winter, it's cold now and it's already going pale and things like that. So don't fertilize this plant during the winter months and when things cool down. Otherwise, this plant will do great. So for its upkeep, you can also remove these dead browning leaves. So you can just take it off like this and it will bring out new flushes of growth. So that's it. It's an excellent plant. It's an excellent indoor plant, or more of an outdoor plant, but still can grow indoors if you get the right mix and match. So folks, don't think too much. This is a great plant to have in your garden and you would not be disappointed. Thank you for watching, and until we meet again, a very warm goodbye.